guys, what do you do when your kids are angry? Let's talk about that. I brought Conrad in off of a night shift, and so I'm grateful that he came.
So I look awful.
No, you look great. Okay, but he's been such an integral part of when our kids have gotten angry that I wanted to bring him in on this vlog so we can hear his wisdom with this topic.
Yeah, we honestly have no idea what we're doing. We're just winging it.
That's true. But we've winged it 4 times. So these are some tips and tricks that we've learned with the whole anger thing. So we have a 3-step approach. The first step is identify. The second step is cool down. And the third step is communicate. So the first step is identify. They need to know when they're really young. You know, around 3 is when we've seen the little anger monsters come out. And they need to know, like, what is anger? You know, so you, like, lay the foundation of what is anger very young so they understand what it is and what it looks like.
Yeah, and they literally are little monsters. They will break you. So, no, but we feel it's important that they can recognize that emotion and then they can identify it in themselves when they're feeling angry. So we have a lot of experience in that recently.
The child needs to identify and understand what they are feeling. With our 4-year-old, it's happened quite a bit, and we've been able to just constantly reiterate, okay, you're fire mad, let's take a time out, or you're ticked off, or whatever you want to say. We like to say fire mad because it gives a visual for the feeling that he's
like his
feeling.
head's on fire.
Yeah, like
it literally is sometimes. But yeah, it got to the point where, you know, he was getting angry so much, and we would say, hey, I think you're upset, and he'd say, yeah, I'm fire mad, and then it got to the point where he would just say, I'm fire mad right now. And so through repetition, definitely was able to identify the emotion.
Which is good. That's like the first step, is have them to be able to identify what is happening inside their body. The second part is to cool down. They need to be removed from the situation. And as you yourself, you're the adult, you need to remove because you can get so worked up over this because they are like such a hot mess and so crazy, and I get like so ticked off too, but I have to remember to not engage in this kind of behavior, and I have to just like completely remove my emotions and just set them in their room and let them cool off.
Yeah, so they need some time to, you know, let the anger kind of dissipate and calm down, because there's nothing productive that can happen when they're raging.
Right, so they just need to be completely removed from the situation and cooled down, and that plan needs to be in place. You need to understand, like, okay, if this happens, if you get angry, we need to just remove you from the situation.
Yeah, with our 4-year-old, you know, he was getting angry, and it became the expectation when he was fire mad, he would go in his room to calm down, and he expected it, and it was consistent.
Consistency is, I think, the key in a lot of parenting tactics. If you're consistent, I think the kids know what to expect. And so, yeah, we had a plan in place, and we always followed through. The third thing is, I think Conrad is the master at, is the communication part at the end.
So they say you can't reason with a 3-year-old, which you can't when, you know, they're in the moment, but I think 3-year-olds have enough insight that after they've kind of cooled down, you can definitely have a productive conversation with them about their emotions and what they're feeling. And so we would always talk about, you know, what triggered it and why he was so upset, and what we could do in the future to kind of help alleviate that.
Yeah, and that seemed to help him a lot, just talking through those emotions and what happened and how we can prevent that from happening again.
And I think, you know, out of necessity, we were very consistent with this process of, you know, identifying his anger, having him cool down, and then communicating about it after, that it got to the point where he would do it himself. He would get mad and say, I'm fire mad. He'd go to his room. He'd cool down. When he was ready, he'd come out and say, hey, are you guys going to come talk to me about my anger? And so we discuss it. And, you know, we've seen definitely some progress and, you know, some improvement with him being able to handle this emotion. So
I would say that's a huge understatement, because from the time he was 3 to now, he is so much better. Like, he really knows how to control his anger, although we still have little situations that come up here and there, but it is nowhere near what it was when he was 3. And so I feel like we have given him these tools, and we've been consistent over the past year and a half that he understands what's expected and how to control and how to deal with these feelings. This process has worked great for our family. What works great for your family? How do you get your kids, if they're angry, how do you get them to cool down? We'd love to hear any feedback or anything great that your family does. Every Thursday I'll post a new video, so thank you so much for watching.